As we move into the digital age, it's inevitable that robots will eventually roam around the Earth as humans do. However, that reality still seems as if it's ages away. But in a world where scientists are constantly trying to build the perfect robot using deep learning and artificial intelligence techniques, Boston Dynamics has already gone too far ahead in the game. But how exactly is Boston Dynamics creating some of the most advanced robots in the world? Let's find out. For those of you who don't know, Boston Dynamics is currently a world leader when it comes to robotics. With their cutting-edge technology and next-generation software, the company has always managed to stay 10 steps ahead of everyone else in the industry. What really makes Boston Dynamics stand out is that they focus on developing robots with advanced mobility and intelligence. It all started 30 years ago when founder and CEO Mark Rabert decided that he wanted to create robots that could go where people would go and do what people would do. And he did exactly that. He took the natural world as inspiration for his creations, and Boston Dynamics worked on developing machines that would walk as naturally as animals and humans to navigate through rocky trails, slippery snow, staircases, and even the narrowest of walkways. And that's what made the company stand out. Their dynamic and stable-legged machines have remained unmatched in robotics technology. Boston Dynamics was founded in 1992 as a spin-off from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, working on robotics projects largely funded by the military. In 2013, as advances and interest in deep learning began to pick pace, Google's moonshot subsidiary, Google X, bought the robotics company for an undisclosed amount. However, Google sold the company in 2017 to a Japanese investment giant, SoftBank. Now, you'd think that so many changes in leadership would have affected Boston Dynamics' profits, but this is where the company's work speaks for itself. Even though changing hands 3 times in a decade is not a good outlook for any company, the $1.1 billion valuation shows that Boston Dynamics' value has increased, and SoftBank is making a lot of money out of the deal. The past few years have seen tons of big robotics companies shut down because they couldn't keep up with the money that's required to work on developing the technology. Meanwhile, under the SoftBank ownership, Boston Dynamics tripled its staff, bought new headquarters, and finally started leasing their famous robot Spot for an undisclosed price in 2019. Spot is set to be available for commercial purchase in 2022. But what makes Spot so famous? Spot is one of the safest and most efficient robots we have in the world right now. It's an agile mobile robot that navigates terrain with unprecedented mobility, allowing you to automate routine inspection tasks and data capture safely, accurately, and frequently. Not just Spot, but Boston Dynamics has sold hundreds of robots worth about $30 million in a variety of industries, such as power utilities, construction, manufacturing, oil and gas, and mining. The real reason why Spot and other robots Boston Dynamics are miles ahead of anything else in the industry is their ability to interact with and manipulate their environment. In fact, one of the advertised features of Spot was its ability to attach and use props, such as a mechanical arm, that can open doors and pick up objects. So you can see why people can't wait to get their hands on it. And to top it all off, Spot is actually also being used for military purposes for remote inspection of hazardous environments, rescue operations, or logistics operations, showing just how much potential comes with every Boston Dynamics robot. As the company grows, it hopes to find ways to lower the costs for all of its advanced robots so that they can start offering consumer-level products that can be used in an average household. But with their most recent Atlas robots, Boston Dynamics has done something that no other company can even think of. But before we tell you what it is, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. If all of that wasn't enough, Boston Dynamics recently uploaded a video to the internet with their newest robots. Apparently, the company is soon going to be producing robots that will feature the ability to dance to the beat of songs using fluid and expressive emotions just like human beings. The clip, showing their most advanced robots dancing to the 1962 hit Do You Love Me by the Contours, was an instant hit on social media, attracting more than 23 million views during the first week. It shows two of Boston Dynamics' humanoid Atlas research robots doing the twist, the mashed potato, and other classic moves, joined by Handle, a wheeled robot designed for lifting and moving boxes in a warehouse or truck, and of course, Spot. According to Mark Rabert, the challenge of programming their robots to dance helped the company push its own limits and develop motion programming tools to improve their robots' balance, bouncing, and performance. Rabert said that they actually had to upgrade their dancing robots right in the middle of development to make sure that they would have enough energy to do the whole performance without ever stopping. And all of that shows when you look at how far the company has truly come with their developments. No one could believe their eyes once they saw the Boston Dynamics robots dancing because it was just that expressive and effortless. In fact, people started speculating that the whole video might have been computer-generated imagery, or CGI. But the company put an end to all of those rumours and said that the robots were a result of the company's years of programming, where they didn't only want to make a robot dance, they wanted it to make it look as close to a humanly figure as possible. When the robots dance, they follow the beat. Their hands, body, and head moves in rhythm, and figuring all of that out took the team at Boston Dynamics years to perfect. Teaching robots to dance with fluid and expressive emotions was a new challenge for a company that has spent years building robots that have functional abilities like walking, navigating in rough terrain, picking things up with their hands, and using attached advanced sensors to monitor and sense many things. But then again, the entire point of Boston Dynamics is to stretch the boundaries of what these machines can do. As far as the technology goes, the Atlas robot relies on a bunch of sensors to execute the dance moves, including 28 actuators, devices that serve as muscles by converting electronic or physical signals into movement, as well as a gyroscope that helps it to balance, and 3 quad-core onboard computers, including one that processes perception signals and 2 that control movement. Safe to say that something like this has never been done before, which is exactly why Boston Dynamics might just be able to take over the robotics market in the near future.